I want you to imagine that you're here. This represents where you are. And we'll say this represents where you want to go. And you want to move in that direction. Now, I think that's what everybody wants to do from time to time. They take a look and they build a dream, they got an idea in their mind, and they want to go directly there. Now, I have found most people want to improve their income. You know, there's two things that you must know if you really want to create wealth. You have to know where you are, and you have to know where you're going. Now, that is so simple and so obvious. Why are so many people stuck? Think about it for a moment. Really give it serious thought. Now, I used to think, and I think most people do, these people don't have goals. But, you know, they may not have taken a pen and really clearly defined their goal, but I think they do have a target. They want to make things better. I don't think that's where the problem is. I think the problem's right down here in where we are. Most people don't know why they're where they are. You see, I have found one thing. Everyone knows how to do a better job than they're doing. That's not the problem. We do know how. The problem is we're not doing what we know how to do. Why aren't we? Well, there's an answer to that, and there's your answer. It's paradigms. Paradigms are the problem. Now, the average individual doesn't even know what a paradigm is. Do you know, Joel Barker wrote a book on paradigms way back around 1990. He said to be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. Why is it that paradigms are holding us back? Well, I think we have to ask ourselves, what is a paradigm? And as we take a look at it, a very simple explanation without really getting into too much psychiatry or psychology, a paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. In other words, we wake up in the morning and we move into action, but we do the same things day after day after day. Our history shouldn't dictate what we're going to do. We should be dictating what we're going to do. Do you know, I had the good fortune of way back in 1970 of working with Eric Hoffer. We were at a Human Resource Congress in Chicago. He said, in times of change, the learners are going to inherit the earth. Hoffer also said to learn, you need a certain degree of confidence. Not too much and not too little. If you have too little confidence, you'll think you can't learn. If you have too much confidence, you'll think you don't have to learn. Well, you know, unfortunately, I think we all fall into this category, both these categories, all too often. There's times when we just don't think we could get it. And there's other times we don't think we need it. The truth is, we have infinite potential. There is no one alive that can even guess at what we're capable of doing. Now, I have found the only way to improve our level of understanding is through study. There is no other way. You see, to deal with change in our fast-moving world, you must develop your higher faculties. Einstein put it very well. He said the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is an obedient servant. He said we have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Do you know what the gift is? Most people live through their senses. They go by what they see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We have higher faculties. We really do. Do you know perception is a higher faculty? Do you know the difference in one person and another in the same business? One sees the business so much different than another. Your perception is your point of view. Perception is an intellectual factor. Memory is an intellectual factor. See, this is what separates us from all the rest of the animal kingdom. Now think. All the little creatures on the planet are completely at home in their environment. They can blend in. We are the only creature on the planet that's totally disoriented in our environment. And that's because we have been given the mental tools to create our own environment. There's no such thing as a bad memory. Another intellectual factor is imagination. Hill said it's the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force the world has ever known. Your imagination will permit you to go into the future and bring the future into the present, and then begin living that way. It is, without question, a phenomenal tool. Well, we've got to learn to use these tools. We have reason. We have an inductive reasoning factor. We've got the ability to choose our own thoughts. You see, reason is what makes us free. Reason gives us the ability to choose our own thinking. We don't have to accept what we hear coming from the tube or from the newspapers. We don't have to accept any of that. We can think for ourselves. Then we have another intellectual factor called intuition. Your intuitive factor is that mental faculty that enables you to tap into vibration, to pick up vibration and translate it in your mind. You can pick up other people's energy. We're all doing it. We can learn how to really tune in our intuitive factor. I'm extremely intuitive, but not by accident. I've worked at developing it. Another intellectual factor is the will. And you know, that's all it'll take for you to hit any star you're shooting at, the will to do it. The will gives us the ability to concentrate. We know that concentration increases amplitude of vibration. In other words, it makes your energy much stronger. These are such phenomenal tools, and we all have them. What we've got to do is learn how to use them. And when we learn how to use them, our life changes. Now let's look at this for a moment. I want you to look at the areas of your life that your paradigm has almost exclusive control over. It controls your perception. It controls your use of time. Your paradigm controls your creativity. It controls your effectiveness. Your paradigm controls your productivity. Your paradigm controls your logic, and your logic literally controls your life. Your ability to earn money is controlled by your paradigm. It's not controlled by the marketplace. It's not controlled by the people you work for or with. Your paradigm controls your income. You can be very bright. You could be a really scholarly individual and earn very small money. You could be not too bright and earn millions. It's your paradigm. It's that conditioned part of our consciousness. And here's what happens when you change your paradigm. Now look it. It's almost as if we're boxed in, like there's a box around us. Every time we're going to move, we hit the walls and we stay where we are. We think we've got a great idea and we're going to make it happen. But at final analysis, nothing really happens. When you decide to change your paradigm and you really start to learn how to change it, we're going to show you not only how to change your paradigm, we're going to show you how your paradigm was built and then how to change it. Well, when you make the decision to change it, you knock the walls down. Now, it doesn't mean anything's changed, but you've got the room to move and you can make it change. And I'm going to tell you something. When you get it, the change is huge. The change will actually be huge, and the change will be permanent. I found that out. It made an enormous difference, an absolutely enormous difference. Now, stay with me for a moment. Let's suppose you just changed your paradigm with respect to how you use your time. All right? Let's suppose that you decided you're going to get up 1 hour early and you're going to study. Solomon said, in all you're getting, get understanding. There's only one way to develop understanding, and that's through study. There is no other way. 1 hour a day is 9 40-hour weeks in a period of a year. And if you keep studying, your understanding keeps going up. Think of what that would do to your income. It would make an enormous difference. I think Buckminster Fuller put it very well. He said, you never change anything by fighting existing reality. To change something, you must build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Now think, you never change things by fighting existing reality. To change things, you build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Now come back with me here for a moment. Just before I leave you, I want you to take a look at this. Let's start over. Just with what I've explained, let's say this X represents where you are. I want you to stop and think, if you really understood and you made some of the changes I'm recommending, and you were able to go directly there, where would there be? You see, there is a place. Nothing is created or destroyed. All science and all theology teach us that. Everything's just in a constant evolution of change. So if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That is an absolute law of our being. I want you to really think for a few minutes and ask yourself Are you really in control of your life? Because, you know, only about 3 or 4 people out of 100 are. You can change anything you want. And you can begin like that. All you have to do is understand how to do what you already know how to do. So, when you stop and think, ask yourself, is this really what I want to do? Am I living the way I really want to live?